Hey friends, this is Marilyn from TarotClarity.com, and the other day I did a review of Celestial Tarot cards, which was purchased at a store called Five Below, and it only cost $5. And in an effort to see how well they read for a serious question, not just a silly, frivolous, mundane kind of question, but one where a lot is riding. It's a lot is at stake. I thought I would use the deck today in a demonstration reading for myself for a serious question. Friday, something is taking place, and the results of which will have serious repercussions on my life and my husband's life. And I would just like a heads up on what to look for, what to expect, and, depending on the news, maybe how to move forward with it. Now, I think these cards are kind of large, so I don't think I can easily do a 9-card spread for this, but I could do comfortably 6. So I'll lay the cards, and based on how many rows I can get, and see what kind of information or insight I can get into the situation. So let me go off camera, meditate, focus, go into my space, and then I'll return to lay the cards. Alrighty, I've focused, and I've shuffled the cards. So let's see what we got here. Well, the first card out of the gate, being the card of victory, is kind of auspicious. We'll see what comes next, of course, but it kind of gives me the warm feels. Let's see if we can do 9 cards. Well, there you go. It begins with the card of a victor. The row ends with the sun, which feels good, right? The center card, a card of repose, a card of reflection. Maybe, to appreciate we, escaped or dodged a bullet, so to speak, not a real bullet, but, dodged maybe there, to present itself as to count our blessings. Oh, hopefully. I'm guessing that's probably me. Maybe an aspect of myself. I mean, I have so many candles burning in this tarot parlor. It's like I've got a frickin' church going on, 10, the home. Yeah, keep the magic in the house. Keep the magic going. For sure. Keep the house a magic place. I think I can get one more row. And none of these positions have positional meaning, so I'm just reading them as they fall. Okay, so it's a little tight to see in full each of the cards, but ooh, some disappointment, defending, being vigilant, being protective of the emotions, and so this bottom row is the only row that gives me a little bit of concern. Certainly we already know that some of the news is bad enough, but to hold our ground and to just be protective of what we have, and protect our emotions. Make sure that we, don't. Well, this could also be seen as what comes before. So this really kind of represents where we are right now, right? We're very concerned emotionally, guarded, defending, ourselves. And then we have much more optimistic, sense of keeping magic in the home, doing what I can to preserve the well-being of the household and being strong. And then dodging what seems to have been the potential for a devastating outcome. So to count our blessings, so ultimately I get a good feel. Now let me do the quintessential rose, and I'll lay the cards and we'll see what they are. I'll do that off camera so I'm not boring you. Okay, so the quintessential card for the top row is the Chariot, which is very similar to the Victor's card, right? And the Chariot, in the way I interpret the Chariot, is moving forward, and it's oftentimes as a victory card, a card of victory, of success, of accomplishment. And so, it does appear as though the very top row is very optimistic in regard to having a positive outcome. Now, it could be that the top row is an indicator of what I should be focusing on, which makes sense also, that I should, that we should collectively be thinking optimally, But I've kind of interpreted that row as being the outcome, And so that feels really good to me. Now, the second row, which I described as trying to keep the home, me, being who I am in the household, and, the card of domestic life, keeping things magic, keeping things positive, keep those candles burning, and, in the quintessential card for that row is the Tower, which is a destructive force, although I don't see a lightning bolt, attacking the building. It could be keeping the home fires burning. We could have a different interpretation for this card based on its image. And I think when I did the video showing this deck the other day, I think I actually even discussed how this card might not have the traditional meaning of the Tower being struck because it looks more like a torch. So depending on how you would interpret this card, certainly what's been happening, or what we are going through, is disruptive to the home to some degree. And this could also be reminiscent of all the candles, the magic, in our household, and to keep it going. And then the final row, which I sort of designated to or interpreted as what is happening right now, and what we're taking with us as we move forward, right? Is accepting change, protecting our home, protecting our emotions, being strong, not letting our emotions get crazy, but being protective, and of one another. And the Wheel of Fortune suggesting that, maybe there will be a change coming for the better. Maybe we'll get a break. So it seems as though all the cards are slanting toward a nice, or a reasonably positive outcome, and not to be as worried. Now, the ultimate card for the entire spread, and how unusual it is to not have any of the quintessential cards be used in the reading. Rarely does that ever happen. Usually when I do, quintessential rows and cards, I have to pull, like, for example, the Justice card is typically, might be at play somewhere else in the reading, and I'll have to pull, a Justice card from another deck or whatever. But I didn't have to do that for this reading, which is really unusual. At any rate, the quintessential message for the whole thing is justice. Things will work out the way they're supposed to. And have faith in the system, I guess, Have faith in, the way it's meant to be. So there we have it. I'll keep you posted. And until next, I hope this has been an insightful, reading for you, and understanding, how I read the cards, and, and how to use this particular deck. It's not just a silly little deck. It can be used for serious readings. And I think it gave me a very good reading on a very serious topic. Now, if you're curious about this spread, I've spoken about it at length. I've done many videos using this. It's a spread I came up with. It's my signature spread. It's what I use for myself personally most of the time. And when people come to my website and they want to know what reading to get, this is usually the format, unless they pick something else, but this is usually the format I choose. And if a person has multiple questions or multiple layers to a question, sometimes I'll designate a row to deliver certain meaning. But when I do it for myself, most of the time, I just kind of know what row means what, and how to interpret the cards, I rarely, if ever, use positional meanings, And if I do, it's mostly just for row per row. So I'm just trying to give you some insight. But, this is just a spread that I've developed, and after nearly 50 years reading cards, this is what really works for me. And until next time, friends, peace and stay well.